Vaselin Topalov. In this game, Garry Kasparov wins against Vaselin Topalov. And don't forget that he was it was the immortal game that is played. Now let's begin. E4, E4, D6, D4, knight E3, knight C3, D6, bishop A3, 3, bishop G7, queen D2, and in this position, white wants to first play bishop H6 after the G7 bishop takes, queen takes H6, and the black cannot castle in that side. The so king side. C6, F3, B5, knight D2, and knight B D7, um, bishop uh, H6. I said that previously that he could play here after the take, and he can't castle because of the queen. His queen. So take bishop B7, A3, B5, long castle, and queen E7. Then the king moves to more safe side. E6, knight S1. Yukari wants to play here because in the next move he could play knight B3 and um, helping the pawn and can go to E5 for attacking the bishop and the C6 pawn. Um, long castle, knight B3, E, the pawn takes the another pawn. He could take with knight, but we saw the knight come from E2 to S1, and after that to B3, and it could be like could be like how can I say? You see a shape like that, but he could just stay in E2 to kill the pawn instead. He takes the rook, and in the next move, he could play G3, attacking, pinning the knight, and could give the rook a protection. They could give each other a protection, and at the same time, the rook could attack the pawn, c5, rook d1. Rook just killed it and did the royal might run away. Knight b6, g3, and king b8. Knight a5, attacking the bishop. Bishop needed to move, so bishop moved, and the bishop h3. It is not the rook. Sorry, the bishop and the knight give, blocks the way for coming there, coming there, and the king only got two moves to e7, a7, and c7. The next move is d5. Then the black played d5, queen e4, attack, uh, checking, and the king needed to move. It didn't have anywhere to go because of the bishop, queen, and the knight. He could only go to a7. Then he went there. The rook joined the game and d4. Boom. The pawn is attacking the knight, knight d5, avoiding and coming to the center. He's attacking to three pieces, but only has one protection. But in this move, the knight could kill him. There was four attacks on the knight. So knight takes after AD. The fire was opened and the rook was attacking the queen. Queen needed to move somewhere. Queen moved to d6. Rook d4. And Garry Kasparov played it for giving a protection, but it was already protected. Played it here because there was cd. Queen takes d4 and checking the king. cd. But the queen didn't take it right now. He waited and gave the check with the rook. When um, king needed to escape because when they checked, if queen taked, there was queen d4, then the king escaped to b8, queen b6, bishop b7, knight c6, and king e8, and it was made with queen e7. So the king ran away, queen d4, and then the king joined this again. Not joined, but now he's in the a file, but he's in this, like you can see in the center, because normally the kings be in 1, 2, or 3. Now this is a 4. Before checking, and the king needed to move. Queen wants to give a checkmate. Going here, queen d5, taking, and then the queen protected the square because there was a checkmate in one move. Rook e7, attacking the e6 pawn and um, attacking, just attacking. The bishop played b7, and then the bishop played b7. Um, the bishop protected the pawn, and we can say guarded the pawn, but the white didn't care. He take if the black um, black queen taked. There was um there was a checkmate in one. So queen c4. They wanted to just take it, and there was a chance that if they change um well, say if they played queen c4 bc, there was a normal easy chance to block the escape, and he has a lot of materials like rook plus one rook. He could easily checkmate the white king, queen f6, taking the pawn, and in the same time attacking the e6 and threatening checkmate. Um, Black could play rook d1, but they didn't. Now, because when they checked, if when they checked, there was a high chance the queen, sorry, the king would move to b2 and guarded the pawn. After that, there was a lot of press made. They could move and lose again. Then the king killed the pawn. Queen a6 attacked the king, and the king killed the pawn and ran away from the check. c3. In this move, Vaselin Topalov said in the game, I analyzed it, and I knew this would happen, this position, but he didn't see the three move. He couldn't take with the queen because queen b5, rook e7, and rook e5. That could be a mate. That's why the king take queen a1, uh, king d2, queen b2, um, and king d1. It was over already. There was a plenty move solved because just you can see there is the king moved from c8 to b8 after traveling around. He came to d1 and maybe even to e1 after that, but he was checkmated after all. And the bishop played bishop f1. If the queen takes that, so there was a queen s1, king e2, and rook e7. Um, I was trying to make checkmate like that, so they didn't take it. I played rook d2, rook d7, rook d7, bishop c4, and they were ahead the rook, but this not about um, didn't resign, played to end, but anyways, and, and resigned after all. And It is one position now. Okay, thank you for watching. Ciao.